Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and we're continuing our trek through some new Transformers that are being released at and are on shelves now. And this is one that, well, I had to do some Herculean efforts to get. This is none other than the Walmart exclusive Velocitron Speedia 500. That's the name of the race, by the way, the Speedia 500 Deluxe Class Cosmos. Cosmos is in an all new mold that is again Walmart exclusive that is being shipped one to a case, much like the clampdown figure we already took a look at, or some stores are able to buy whole cases of it. Either way, this is a very rare figure currently, and I kind of and is not available on Hasbro Pulse or Walmart.com. I kind of had to pay a little extra, but more on that at the end. But what you do get is, again, an entirely new mold, Cosmos. That's at the deluxe size, so it's comparable to the other recent smaller deluxe mini bots like Bumblebee, Cliffjumper, Huffer, and Pipes. And looks really cool. Cosmos has always been one of my favorite characters from Transformers, namely for two reasons: the characterization in the cartoon, as well as it's one of the Minibot toys that really survived a long time in my hands, didn't fall apart or break, since it was pretty much just like solid plastic. It was really one piece. There wasn't like rubber tires or small bits that could come off. Interesting to note that, as I'm sure as most of you know, Cosmos's name in Japan was Adams, or Adamus, depending on how it's pronounced, and that was named after the guy who came up with the classic design of the flying saucer, which is basically this. But in spite of the popularity of Cosmos in the cartoon, I mean, it was even featured in a commercial bumper. The toy was never available at mainstream mainline retail in Japan. It had to be ordered gotten through mail order. Now, besides the figure, we do have two accessories that are included: a blaster and this checkered flag that pegs into the blaster, since the blaster can be used as a weapon or as a little flagpole. Much like Clampdown, these accessories are wrapped up in tissue paper and taped to the bottom of the tray, so make sure to keep an eye out for those. Also, like Clampdown, Cosmos is packaged in vehicle mode on an angle, so if you're like me and like to use the boxes for storage, you're going to have to keep those paper ties and tie Cosmos back in. Or what I would also recommend when doing long-term storage, slip a little bubble wrap into the open window or around the packaging, just for a little extra cushioning. This is heavily based on the animation design, so you do see the different colors of greens, as well as this central blue section, which will, spoilers, become the torso. Now, apparently, due to animation errors, this is not entirely accurate to Cosmos's proper animation design. There should be a little bit of yellow that would unify all the colors between the two modes, but often that was left out. So this is the more common error that we would see the most in the cartoon. So there is that. But very nice. You do have a couple blasters here on the front. You can, of course, add blast effect ports to that. These thrusters here in the rear are molded in, and if you so chose, you could move the blaster to either port here on either side of the figure. Well, I think that's about it. So what we'll go ahead and do now is I'll adjust the camera and we'll get into the transformation. Alrighty, and for those of you playing along at home, yes, I am using the Folio 2 light box, a little smaller one. I feel that since Cosmos is a little bit smaller than your typical deluxe, I should have enough room. But to start, let's just go ahead and remove the weapon here. As you can see, that's what it looks like. You have a hole in either side to peg the flag in, so we'll just put that aside. Transformation is actually fairly easy. So what you want to start with is the instructions basically just show you pulling the arms out. What I recommend is actually loosening up the front here a little to allow, give you some space to pull out those little tabs, because the arms also peg into what will be the side skirt. So you got to pull out and then up. But if you loosen that up a little, it's much easier to do. And you just want to bring the arms back on an angle just like that. This is strictly just to give you some working room. Now I noticed that this arm has less of a natural stop than that one, but just get it out of the way. Next, what you want to do, and this can be a little tricky, you don't want to pull right here because this flap is actually just friction hinged on, but you want to grab around this frame. And if you got to move the arms down a little, go ahead and just pull back, just like so, until it snaps into place. And that will give you a little bit of an opening and some more space to transform the legs, especially if you just go ahead and no, actually that's about fine right there, but that'll give you some more room. Next, what you want to do finally is coming back underneath is bring these side panels up and out of the way, flip the legs down at this point, just get that out of the way. And what you want to do is this crotch piece is going to come forward, snap into place right where my finger is, straight. And while you're doing that, you'll just, the natural movement will be to straighten the legs out, so that'll end up like that. Now at this point, you can go ahead and separate the legs, and to bring the feet forward, you're going to angle them slightly on the ankle pivot, flip it around, just like so. And now for the scary part of the transformation. You want to flip these panels around to form some really nice heels, but they have to clear this softer yellow piece of plastic. And a couple times you do it, it is a little scary. So you might, it actually, and I'm concerned over time wearing down that whole curved section right there, or possibly even breaking the plastic. So, but the legs are done. Bring down those hip skirts. And now what you want to do is rotate this whole section around. Fold up that panel, if it hasn't already naturally folded in just from handling. Fold this section forward. There, you'll notice there's a slot there with a little tab on the back of the, what will be the torso. That will snap into place. And now for like some really cool bit of transformation to help secure the torso, this back section and the arms, you want to rotate the arms forward, making sure this yellow hinge comes. That's going to snap down on top, and that will actually that will secure the arms in the proper position. The joint here is a little bit loose, but not too bad. And while you have it up, go ahead and flip the forearms, the fists out, just like so. And we're just about done. The last thing to do is to reveal the head. And this is also a very scary transformation point. And I think it's actually worse than the heels. You need to press down on the top of the saucer to flip this panel around, and it is very tight. And it's weird, sometimes it's tight, sometimes it's not that bad. Lately it's been tight, so just flip it around, and there you have Cosmos. You can bend the arms. They're on a universal joint, about a 90-degree bend at the elbow. You'll notice Cosmos's fists have those molded in thrusters like on the original toy. Universal joint here at the legs, swivel, nice knee bend, and as we already saw, ankle pivot. The head is on a ball joint, and it's actually not as limited as you would think due to its shape. If you don't want to have the flag, you still have access to that hole that you can actually peg it in and just store it there or leave it in the box. I actually like the instructions show hold when you hold it as a blaster, leaving the flag in, and I kind of like that. It's like it has like a little clip system or something. But there's that, and then to hold it as the flag, again, you can hold it this way. I like holding it, having Cosmos hold it like this, sort of like, with the wind blowing it back. I'm sure if you're going to do a race display, definitely have Cosmos elevated. So, because I also view him as the guy who's doing the commentary on the race, and also, by the way, there is swivel there at the elbow, but there's also the holes at the bottom of the feet and the arms if you want to armor him up. Just like a great fun figure, and definitely a great addition to the collection. And I think, besides outside of it being rare, I feel that Cosmos would have been the most desired figure out of the Velocitron line, just because it's a new mold and it's a version of a character that, while we've gotten some new ones, new versions, new designs in recent years, we just haven't had that great solid update that's close to that classic animation design. So we'll pause and I'll come back with my final thoughts. Like I said, Cosmos has always been one of my favorite Transformers, and getting this figure was going to be a no-brainer, especially knowing the story of how the Takara designers went to Hasbro and said, I think instead of just doing a retool of this Bumblebee figure, we really can go in and do something fun and make an all-new mold, which is what they did. Now to the bad parts. As I said, I had to get this figure off of eBay, and I had to pay almost 2.5 times more than what it would go for at retail. And the reason I did that is, number one, to bring it to you, and as like that old Genesis song, from the late 80s, early 90s says, just do as I say, don't do as I do. I did this to present the figure to you so if something you would really want, but also to make sure you guys didn't rush out and spend the extra money, nor should you. I can't tell you that this is going to show up in Japan. Takara already revealed their Wave 1 Velocitron line, which are going to be Takara Tommy Mall exclusives, which means you won't be able to get them from places like Amazon Japan or Hobby Link Japan. Big Bad Toy Store might carry them, but there'll be a little bit of a markup, which means after shipping and tax, it actually might be the same price as getting it off of eBay. As I said, these are one to a case, or some retailers are buying them as whole cases of 4. I don't know if Walmart is going to restock or when. Let's not even talk about the website. I'm strictly talking brick and mortar. I don't know how they operate or what they do. So, with all that being said, you might have to wait for a repaint or another use of this mold to experience it. Because as the stock that's out there gets bought up, it's either going into the hands of people who want the figure or the hands of people who want to resell this figure, and they're going to start raising the price up on it. And it's going to reach a point where it's just not worth it. As it is right now, the price I paid was worth it to me just to be able to share this with you. But that may not be worth it to you. And certainly the fact that now I'm seeing some of the prices go into the low 3 digits That's definitely way too much for a figure like this. So with that being said, keep an eye out on Walmart.com. I would say uh, Hasbro Pulse, you might as well just kiss off because this is a Walmart controlled exclusive. They have the rights to the mold and how it's put out. Hasbro really can't reissue it or reuse it. And also keep an eye to see if Takara is going to be able to release this over in Japan. But it's a fun figure, and I'm very happy to have it. So, I mean, if that's the bottom line there. This is your old pal Chuck for Cosmos. We will see you next time.